Arch. Oh no.
Still not connecting?
It doesn't look like it.
Hmm. Hmm. If it still hasn't, yeah.
Oh well. Hi, Andre. So our Facebook connection is not loading today for some reason.
But we can post the link, right?
Yeah. Then we'll just stick to YouTube. But I'm gonna leave a message already.
Yeah, I'll go post on Facebook.
Yeah, this is me interacting with chat. Sorry.
Okay. Posted.
Wow, this is a long chat bot.
Resharing links. So yes, to those who are watching, as mentioned,
Sorry, I'm leaving a message for export.
oh crap, did I share the old one and not the new one?
Oh, that is possible.
Because
Okay.
it's unlisted.
Yeah, that's the old one.
Then I shared the old one. Shit. Poop. I'll wait for the new one. Okay, I think this is the new one. So sorry folks, we're having some connection issues. Yeah, hopefully this is the right one now. All right, so Andre, hello.
Carlos here too.
Carlo, hello. The earlier ones seem to have 6. I don't know if that was really 6.
Well, that includes us, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're having some connection issues with the Facebook feed.
Yeah, and I'm sure the troubleshooting is going to be remove your Facebook channel and then
connect
add it again. Oh well. So we'll work with this today.
We're also trying a different angle of the house because I wanted more geek stuff visible compared to the expanse. Because admittedly, we also reduced the pile behind me.
Okay, yeah, that there is that.
So that
because there's a new shelf and stuff have moved into the room, and then it the pile behind Toby has shrunk a bit. The wall of Trek further on, actually, like now, like you can see Mysterium.
That was
And
not visible before.
yeah, and Mask of the Red Death used to be on the floor. Oops, and Palaces of King Ludwig was on the floor. So now it's moved up and visible. Before the Trek covered all the way to here. So progress, sort of progress.
It's still getting. There's still people commenting to it.
Because it's become a high engagement thing.
Yeah.
Facebook rewards.
Then I guess I should post the link there too.
No na. No la. Hello Jade Channel. I have no idea what you are saying.
There. Wahahaha. Use the algo to our advantage. So yeah, I guess we can start in a bit. In the future, will it be board games from wall to wall? We're sort of there already.
I don't think that's a future. I mean, we are constantly evaluating where else we can put shelves.
Because we don't want to have the shelves too close to the windows.
Yeah, because then it bleaches the games.
Hey, Jed.
We have some games with sun damage, but that's like neither here nor
And then
there.
at the same time, so like we could get rid of the couch to have a shelf there.
But that's against the window,
But
and then it
but
could
we kind
really
of like the couch.
and it would kill natural light. Although to be fair, half the couch temporarily has my Unicron box, which is so big. It's also where I sort laundry. The remaining wall is like that one in the corner, but then there are bins there and the whiteboard.
Yeah, but definitely getting closer and closer to the point that I might just ask who wants to get RPG books or DVD movies, and we'll be giving
I
them
think
away.
DVDs, like, okay, we have to. It's sad, but I think we're gonna have to retire physical media because we don't even have players.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, like our PS3, is our only media player.
Yes. Who needs couches, Carlo? Well, one can be creative with couches. They can be used to hold your laundry. They can have Unicron. What? What? Mm-hmm.
You're too good at this eyebrow move.
No, I did not move my eyebrow. It moved by itself. So let's, I guess, get started because it is 9:22. In as much as we wanted to start sooner,
Yeah,
the darn Facebook issue kind of had us in a loop.
Yeah, so we're only streaming on YouTube today, but hey, thanks for joining us over here. And I recognize most of you, except for people like, Jade Channel.
Jed, it's not kalat. It's still dry.
We're just very proud.
We'll be right back after this intro.
Wait.
Oh yeah! Baduy Pride!
This is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, a little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It is completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. This episode is a requested episode.
Yes, it is, by Carlo.
And it's all about the Crystal Maze. For those who don't know what the Crystal Maze is,
I am sad for you. We still have sort of a Jed's like intro. We still have sort of a definition for this in the sense that there is official history of the show. So the Crystal Maze is a British game show devised by Jacques Antoine. That doesn't sound like a British name. Based upon his format for the French game show Fort Boyard, and produced for Channel 4 and produced for Channel 4. I guess more notably for us in the Philippines, you most likely got a chance to see the Crystal Maze if you had a cable service that supported Sky World.
So what was the show like? The show had contestants all in jumpsuits of a single color, taking embracing challenges of different types in hopes of getting these crystal domes or
Oh,
crystals
crystals.
that gave them basically time to collect as many as they can in in the final challenge.
5 seconds of time per crystal.
Mhm.
So the crystal maze was divided into 4 zones, and you had no idea why they were interconnected. Oh
Mhm.
wow, Carlos has got an RPN 9 too. I don't remember that.
And Jed recalls Star Plus.
Yeah, so it was the original 4 zones
Mhm.
were industrial because oh my god, I love industrial. Okay, there was industrial, medieval, um, futuristic,
Mhm.
and Aztec, which was like I don't know why this is the cultural combination, but
Mhm.
these are the original 4 zones.
Now, when we talk about zones and challenges, it's best to think
What a
of
loud
them
vehicle.
as the forefathers of escape rooms, wherein each room
Yeah.
would be tailored to have specific challenges. One might be a physical challenge where you have to cross the room without touching the ground, get the crystal, and make your way back. The other one might be a mental challenge, wherein it might be about placing 9 queens on a chessboard and figuring out the best way to do it without killing each queen.
There were only 8.
8 queen challenge.
Yeah, because
Yeah, sorry.
Sudoku.
Yeah. And then there was the
Skill
Skill
challenge,
challenges.
which I feel like your rope bridge may have been more skill than physical, because physical was always like carry these sacks
no,
and
but
like
skill
balance.
tend to be shooting.
That's true
Or
too.
steering or
And then there was the ultra vague category of mystery,
Yes.
which was just like abstract reasoning,
I like mystery
problem
the
solving.
most.
I did too. Is that what was your, for those of you who are watching, if you're familiar with the show, what was your challenge? Like, what were the ones you thought that you could fit? Because I knew I couldn't possibly do physical.
Mhm.
As a kid who was constantly told he was smart, surprisingly, the mental challenges daunted me because it was a lot of like math
Yes,
that
it
had to
was
be
math.
done quickly. So I was a little worried about that. Skill, again, my hand eye never felt like the best. So
Mhm.
mystery always felt like, the greatest grab bag of like things you could do.
So Carlos shares, he rated 1 Aztec, 2 Future, 3 Industrial, and 4 Medieval. So just to go through some examples for those who are not familiar with the show.
I'm so sad for you if you're
So
not.
the Aztec zone, for example, had a physical skill wherein you had to balance the scales. You would use a raft to retrieve
It's those
sandbags.
freaking sandbags.
And then balance a set of scales to release the crystal within 3 minutes. Another physical challenge was log balance. You had to carry parts of a temple across logs to release the crystal.
Mm-mm.
There was memory blocks where you navigate to a water course, obstacle course, while remembering the order of the blocks with symbols. There was water transport where you carry water across a balance beam, avoiding
There was
swinging
so
rocks.
much water in Aztec.
But then beyond physical, we have mystery. For example, there's water pipes where you make 3 pipes divert water into containers. But as they fill up with water, you can then
I love
grab
that
the
one. That was
crystals.
like the cascading one, and then the final one, and the crystal goes up.
And I think they were mystery because they weren't clear what you had to do.
That's
Whereas
true.
others, you'd be told, you have to get the bags to the other side. Remember, don't touch the water.
Yeah,
But for mystery, it was you go in and, well, what do you think? What's in front of you?
their official on the Wikipedia page, it defines so mental was mental and memory skill ranging from simple brain teasers to acute memory and 2D 3D puzzles. Mystery was problem solving ranging from treasure hunts to large scale mazes. Physical tested physical abilities range from obstacle courses, lifting, using, cranking, or manipulating objects. And skill was testing dexterity, accuracy, eye-hand coordination, range from target shooting, timing tests, to vehicle driving. Okay.
Now, as Carlo mentioned, part of the show's charm was the fact that if you ran out of time,
It's a lock-in!
you get locked in the room, which means the team has to progress without you. which sucks. And the only way to get freed is if they actually pay.
Pay with one of the crystals they've earned.
But that means they lose 5 seconds of time. That's one victory you've thrown away just to get the person who caused the loss to come back.
But it's always the argument of, but then that also means an extra pair of hands grabbing the flying bills at the final crystal maze thing.
So the final crystal
yeah.
challenge was based on the amount of time you've collected. You would be inside this dome, and then there would be different colors of paper that will be flying around
Silver and gold.
Silver are bad.
Gold is good. And then it's right minus wrong.
And worse, it's right minus wrong, and the lights would be strobe. So you can't really see what's going on.
Blinking.
So to have that extra pair of hands to grab whatever and to stuff it in the box, because you had to stuff it in the box. You can't just
it was a freaking mailbox slot, and then you had to put all the bills in, and then at the very end, there's this very slow mechanical door that pops up that covers the hole, and okay, I love it. So the Crystal Maze, I think, is also most notable for the many hosts the show has had over the years. But of course, I think for many of us, we most remember Richard O'Brien, who hosted the first 4 series and 3 specials. And Richard O'Brien is more famous, maybe, I don't know if you actually would say he's famous, for things like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Just oh my God, the guy, brilliant. And he wasn't just in it. He wrote, composed, he wrote the musical show for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? And so he's very, very talented. But he is always my favorite favorite host for the Crystal Maze. And he kind of helped build I don't know if it's him or if it was the show, but then there was a semi-narrative built around him. Because, for example, for people who remember, Richard O'Brien, if you go to Medieval Zone and you do normally the
one of the mysteries.
It's a mental puzzle. It's a mental puzzle where you meet the fortune teller, who is Mumsy, who apparently is the host's mother in the show. And he'll always be like, "Hello, Mumsy." Ta 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 ta. So that's kind of crazy.
I shared with you a link. You might want to share it on the screen. Because one of the things that fascinated me with the show was they used 3D graphics to represent the different zones.
Yes.
It's in a lower image.
Okay, wait. Let me pop it up.
And just seeing that map move was such a delight on screen. It drew you in. It got your imagination going.
Okay, for the curious, so this is Richard O'Brien. If people don't know what Richard O'Brien looks like, and he looks like a wicked game show host.
Yeah, it could go further down. It's a
GIF.
Yeah, keep going. There.
Oh, yes,
that moment. That was so beautiful.
I love this thing.
This was the stuff of dreams. And, what made this moment so special for me was you'd see the map, but then you'd realize you only go through 3-4 rooms. But you're seeing all these other rooms, and you're like, you would
only do about 3 to 4 rooms per zone, depending on the time. And then it's a certain amount of time that they're balancing. So because some puzzles were up to 3 minutes long, some were 90 seconds and stuff. And then, but after you've gone through the 4 zones, then you have to run home. The other part that was also fascinating to me is when, for example, you decide to leave a teammate behind, and then you move to another zone. And if a person is going to buy them out, then he would have to take the crystal, rush back the way they came, and remember the path through the maze, which I always wondered, wow, how do they always remember where to go? But okay, it's not really a maze, but
and it's not real time. I'm sure there's people and there's cuts. So according to one site, at the beginning of each series, they had to develop 48 games. They had 4 zones with 6 cells in each zone. And on an average program, contestants would go through around 12 to 13 games. So that meant they didn't want the game to be played more than 5 times on air. And that's why within the budget, they were able to develop 48 games.
It's quite amazing though that the number of, I mean, sure, there were certain thematics that kind of happened a lot. For example, there's always the freaking RC challenge, which is always some sort of a rover or RC vehicle. Like in the space zone, it was like a Mars rover. When industrial turned into ocean, then there was a boat, a little RC boat that you had to guide. With the same objective, like the crystal was on it, and you had to navigate a maze and get it out. So that's
one
cool.
of the worst parts was you had to nudge it so the crystal falls onto that cup.
Oh.
Now, interestingly, each room was around 12 feet by 12 feet at most.
Wow.
And they had to find a way to make each game playable within 3 minutes. So it's just amazing looking at everything they've done. It's in the same page that we showed you. It's so that the others who haven't seen the show can see glimpses of the different
Let
games.
me load it again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Have to.
So if we scroll back up, it will start at the start, right?
No, it's where my
So we'll see there. Yeah, there's one image of some of the puzzles.
Okay, I'll start from this. I'll start from the top. So like, okay, this was like getting into the Aztec zone. Okay, we'll take a moment for this. I loved how you could start the game in any zone.
Yes.
Like every zone had a quote unquote external entry point that you could enter the entire maze from. And then in addition, each zone had a bridge between the zones where the theming changes. And you'll see that when they're running from zone to zone. So it was a fully navigation. And then the Aztec one was always this annoying canoe challenge of some, and there was no other puzzle to it. It was literally ride the canoe down this fake river and then get out again. Unlike medieval, there was always like shoot the thing so that it would pop open the drawbridge
and then allow them to cross.
Future Zone had like you had to crack a code or like get past the robot guard, the computer who was later named Alice by Ayoade. And then what was industrial? I think there was like normally climbing over fences or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. So okay.
I think it was the door thing where they had to help climb over it.
Yeah. So look at this. This is obviously a skill challenge. He is riding a mechanical bull while with a paint gun, needing to hit the bullseye on a thing. It's crazy. It's a crazy challenge.
Yeah. This one is a sliding puzzle.
There's always a freaking sliding puzzle, whether it was in future medieval, and then they just changed the materials. So actually, this looks industrial future. I can't tell anymore. But then
part of the frustration here is you can't really see the entire puzzle sometimes. So you have to rely on your teammates to help guide you.
The teammates will say, "Look behind you! Look behind you! It's on the wall!" Okay, so it was a lot of that. Okay, let's not look at that one. And then okay, and then I always thought this was genius that the rooms always had this window or vestibule that the teammates could kind of look in from an angle and try to give advice, which is probably the worst thing you could do to someone who's trying to solve a puzzle.
Who's pressured to solve a puzzle.
Pressured by time. And it was super like, no, the other way.
Jed mentions there were cannibals with poison darts along the river. Yes, that was part of the story always.
Okay, Richard O'Brien had all this stuff to say about everything. And I felt every host had to keep up with it. He was next replaced by a guy named Edward Tudor Pole. That was when there was an Ocean Zone. And he wasn't my favorite. He was okay, but he just wasn't Richard O'Brien. Because Richard O'Brien was a little obnoxious. Like, he was a little cheeky. And, like, and you could kind of see he would always give, like, this slight sense of satisfaction when people get locked in. It's like, oh, well, that was wrong.
Andre mentions Legends of the Hidden Temple that came out 1993. That's 3 years after the Crystal Maze.
So Andre thinks he could probably do mental and skill. Good for you. But I think you should watch episodes of the show on YouTube and you'll see how challenging the skill challenges are.
And bear in mind, they will always look simpler when you're not actually in the heat of the moment.
Oh, yes. Mai says she loved the sliding puzzles and the balancing maze. Oh, no. And then the balancing maze was so straightforward because it basically the crystal was in the thing, and then you had to go through it.
We can scroll to the anime. Yeah, there. So you had a lot of people falling and slipping.
And these are dangerous. These were
Mind you,
very dangerous.
This is the time. This is the time. The point in time in TV when there weren't really any.
And this was clearly early series.
Sign for safety
Yeah,
precautions.
look, she's not
and the
even
like.
wearing knee pads
Yeah.
or anything. I mean, like they just had these jumpers, and that was it, right? But man, he was super. He was just super. He made the show for me. He super made the show for me. The computer in the future zone.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Which was really just a bunch of old monitors slapped together to be a thing. Okay. Medieval. And medieval was really
Dark.
the lighting of the
Yes.
medieval zone was absolutely beautiful. Yes, leopard jacket. Okay. And then see, then he was always like mocking people while they were doing things.
He would comment on their performance. He would give banter, throw shade even on how they're doing things. No one ever checks the walls or something like that.
And then I think the worst is like when he starts just talking to the camera about things, stories about Mumsy, and then he pulls out bum his harmonica and starts playing the harmonica while they're all focused on this puzzle very seriously. Tristan says Takeshi's castle was safer. Probably at least they had helmets. Because here, not always, except for certain challenges where they would be like, put your head down.
However, the physical challenges here were safer than Takeshi's castle.
Relatively,
because Takeshi's castle did have a lot of people flying from high levels or falling from high areas to shallow water. Or literally running at top speed to try to cross areas. Here, it was a lot of careful, meticulous motions and falling off balance from small areas.
Oh my gosh, Spud Gun says he writes for the Crystal Maze fan blog and does a tiny bit of work for the Ayawadi show. And it's great seeing love for the show. So nice to have you watching. The show has had fans over here in the Philippines. And there is a dream to one day challenge. So for those unfamiliar, what we're looking at now, this was the final challenge.
Yes.
This was the Crystal Dome, and with the lighting, as you can see, making everything appear gold or silver, which was such a mess. But then it was brilliant, and the whole the goal was like you needed 100 net. Right, you needed 100 gold bills,
and I don't think anyone ever tried to count. I think everyone was just grabbing.
It depends. It was like, what was your like? You always wonder what was their big strategy because there were some that were like trying to be careful at the point of the mail slot, and they were just trying to.
But at the same time, with all the wind blowing,
the light,
you have everyone there in one area stuffing things. You have people stuffing over them.
Everyone jumping in the air.
And then it's beautiful how they had the table with all the crystals and they'd all be lit up. But then the lights start going out every 5 seconds as a crystal is consumed for the time. There. See? Look at that.
And there weren't exactly that many bills. It was a very big dome with a high pressure fan.
A lot were smart to focus on the ground because there was always the bills that were not
They
flying.
gather in the corners, right?
But again, it's not really something you can just focus and look at.
Oof. The obnoxious computer screens in the future zone.
Which kept turning.
Yes,
so
exactly.
while you're watching, it will rotate.
Because Futuristic Zone was the one where they didn't have windows. They only had the overhead TV screen. So, oh my god. Okay. This is a helpful article. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So Carlo does mention the crystals being used as a countdown is great. I know, and it's such a physical way to talk about how much time you have. Because they would be carrying their crystals, right?
Yes, they literally have to carry them.
So whenever someone gets trapped, there'd be that. Do we give up one?
And it was it was so stupid. Like they'll knock, hey, get out, and then you have to put it on the floor, and there's a camera ready to see you place it on the floor. So that's more than one take, but you buy into it. You just buy into the whole thing.
Now I really love that aspect as well. How in every challenge they made sure that where the crystal goes is where the camera is ready. Stuff like Bridgeway goes here and then the crystal rolls and it stops and there's that camera there. You see it stop.
And then you have to think about it. This is pre GoPro era. So they only at most had camcorders, but then and sure, I'm sure there's a lot of B-roll.
Yes.
Like they just have shots of the crystal rolling
Yes.
and things like that.
But it's still so nicely
it's
done
nicely
that
done.
it really
It was
works out.
perfectly done.
And I love those moments where you have the close-up shot, you have the crystal here, and then you have the hand. And you're like, just grab it!
Just get the crystal.
Or those moments when it's the tube and they try to pick up the crystal and you can see
Those are the worst. Those are like when they've solved most of the puzzle, and then
Mhm.
sometimes it's just a matter of retrieving the crystal from wherever it is,
Mhm.
and then they just can't get it.
So
oh my
local,
gosh.
yeah. So we have some people talking about how it would be locally. There was Chris Aquino,
I
or
don't know because again, because to be fair, Chris. Okay, as much as Chris Aquino was kind of snarky on Game Kanaba,
Mhm,
but that wasn't her persona.
mhm,
Like she was still generally a nicer host.
mhm.
So you need someone like with that impish charm because and that's why I feel like even when it got to Ayoade, it worked because we knew his character from the IT crowd.
Yes.
And while I know that is not him, but
Mhm.
there's still a lot of that.
And in as much as
Sarcasm,
he's
yeah.
drier than Richard O'Brien, in as much as he was drier in the sense that he wasn't like as kooky and as jumping
Well, he
around.
wasn't as like over the top
Yeah.
emotional.
He still had that, he's up to something
Yes.
sort of expression to him.
Oh my god, you should. I haven't made you listen to Ayoade's
Mhm.
audiobooks on film.
Sorry.
They're super awesome.
So Spud sharing, of course, background information.
Oh, they had two big, bulky 90s cameras and a lot of cutting and setting up of cameras. An awful lot of work went into the 90s version.
Oh my
I
gosh.
I think at the time I felt like you're just in it. Like when
Mhm.
you're as a kid, when you're watching the Crystal Maze, it's super like, wow, this is amazing. I'm just
Mhm.
into the adventure. Looking back, yeah, then it's like, how did they do this? Because and each of the puzzles were so different in construction
Yes.
orientation, and you can imagine trying to cram in a cameraman while the guy is solving the puzzle, and then you have another, at least one more outside with the team, not counting Richard O'Brien talking to the camera occasionally. So, oh my gosh,
So there were a few other zones that came into the show as the show progressed.
yeah.
Whereas the four original zones were the ones we mentioned
So
earlier.
I did feel bad when industrial got knocked away.
Yeah, so there was Eastern that came in 2019, which
Mm.
has an East Asian feel with the lily ponds and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
There's Ocean.
Yeah,
that
ocean
came
is
in
what replaced industrial.
because this is when a lot of water related challenges really kicked in.
Okay, but the one thing, okay, I will take a moment. Remember in ocean, which they also had in future at some point,
Mhm.
there was like a diving suit thing. Like it was I mean, in the space version,
Should reconnect soon. Are we
Are we
back?
back?
Are we back? Please tell us if we're back.
because we need more technical issues today. Why not? You know?
Restream has been having connection issues, so I'm so sorry if that has happened.
Are we back? Are we back? Are we back?
Please comment if we're back. We need your help to know if we've reconnected. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Here, I'll comment. You're not commenting.
There, mine
Okay,
says
we're
we're
back.
back. Thank you. Sorry. It's a bad month for restream. Okay. So yeah, but then like I just love that stupid like it was a suit that you kind of had to Flintstone around
Mm-hmm.
the maze area, and because I remember in the space one there was like avoid the planets,
Yes.
but in the what's this in the ocean
Ocean.
zone, I know there were like mines floating from the ceiling.
So here it says you go through an airlock on the deep sea suit.
yes,
So you walk towards a cage.
yes,
Where you have to undo the locks, but you must avoid touching the sharks.
Oh yeah, there was the shark spinning around. Yes.
Yeah, I think the mines was a different one.
Yeah, or maybe one of those boat challenges. So, oh my
Yeah.
god, I love that thing. What I appreciate about Ocean, because really the theming was you are in a sunken ocean liner,
Mhm.
and yet here we are solving puzzles in this wreck of a boat. But sure,
It was
why not?
officially the SS Atlantis.
Oh yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But I appreciated it, but I still really, I don't know. I like the charm of ocean. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Another thing that always threw me for a loop as a kid, which really only as a kid, was
Mhm.
that wow, the hosts are great at reading different timepieces.
Yes, I believe them. I believed in it so much. Grabs this thing. 2 minutes.
Yeah,
What?
because
You can tell
medieval
it's 2 minutes.
medieval zone
Had
was
hourglass.
hourglasses,
Yes.
and then Aztec was those freaking water timers,
Yes.
right? And then it was always like he'll be staring at it intently. You have 10 seconds, and like, how is he knowing it ten
We,
seconds?
we completely did not think it's the
The
earpiece.
earpiece that he's wearing the whole time.
Now, admittedly, as kids, me and my siblings did make our own versions of
Of
the Crystal
course,
Maze.
why not?
How can you guess which type?
I am worried that they are balancing things.
No,
Really? What did you do?
we did mystery.
Oh, good for you.
Because mystery tend to be clue leading to clue leading to clue.
That's true.
so
That's true.
so we used to dress up the room. So I'd like, for example, have a clue, then I'd hide it in the book.
Oh, okay.
And then there's an earlier clue that points to the book. And then an earlier clue that points to this and that. So I'd hide all this, and then I'd step out of the room and I'd tell my brother and my sister, okay, you have 3 minutes, go! And then they start searching.
I always felt like my love for mystery was always like when you're Aztec, there's that grid digging puzzle,
I love that
and
one.
like I can totally solve this one, but then you'll have the random contestant who doesn't even see the shovel at
Mhm.
the beginning.
And they use their hands.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, okay, okay. Jed's like, well, I knew. Okay, Jed says he always knew they had earpieces. I knew they had earpieces. I didn't think someone was telling them the time.
And again, mind you, this was at a much younger age.
Yes, we just bought into the whole thing. Like this is our host who is
Mhm.
guiding us through this crazy land. And oh my god, oh my god. Yeah. So, what was your favorite zone?
I always found myself, okay. If I were
For
just to
whatever
choose,
reasons,
if I
yeah,
were
yeah.
to just choose a zone,
Okay.
then it would most likely be medieval, because I
You
just
gothic boy.
and I loved. It was always a chance to see Mumsy. It was,
Mumsy.
and I loved how there'd be these conversations with her, and
Yes.
you always felt that there was, okay, have to improv here because I don't know what's going on.
Mm-mm.
But then
They were really good. They were really good, though.
and then there were also those moments of just traveling around to the next room had its own scare moments. Not scare, but like the lighting gets dark, or you suddenly aren't sure if you can move around.
So we got to give credit to a Sandra Karen,
Yeah.
who was the original Mumsy,
Mhm.
and was the fortune teller during O'Brien's tenure. She had a mental game in the medieval zone. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Then later it was replaced by Auntie Sabrina.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. Oh my god.
You?
I guess I mean I could be very stereotypical, and I love the future zone.
That's our
obviously.
30-minute timer. We are continuing beyond 30 minutes.
I love the future zone, obviously, because futuristic. The
Mhm.
computer was like I was super into the airlock things, but okay, but in terms of puzzles, I felt I had the best chance in industrial.
Mm.
I think that's why I fixated on industrial a lot, because a lot of the puzzles felt like I think we can do this. I think and that was a lot of like just it was a lot of machinery because it was trying to be industrial.
Do
and
you
I could buy it.
recall which puzzles you like the most in Future Zone?
I'm not sure because I always get mixed up also with some of like I keep thinking of control rods for some reason. Which I feel like was and whether industrial or future. Wait, where's the list of games? Where's the list of games? I had it up earlier. Where? You have a list of games?
Yeah, it's there. I'm looking through it now. There's the spinning the dials, colored balls, press a connection of buttons. But yeah, I remember the control rods. I remember that one too. I think it was industrial. Calculating the codes, answering the phones, collecting the balls.
Oh, this is not helpful. The search, because they're all summaries of the thing. See, there was. Oh no, not that one. Let's see. Because I hated balancing things. Those never worked well for me. The button combination ones are always annoying because those are one of those classic. Some turn them off, some turn them on.
Yeah, I
and you need
hated
to. I
those.
don't. I could never address those. So that wasn't a good one for me. Um, See, industrial. Look at industrial. So, navigating the pipe to get the crystal out. I'm okay
Mhm.
with that. Um, um, the number pairs one. Stop moving blocks to create a pathway for crystal roll down and release pathway roll. Yeah, that's fine. See. Then it was a lot of sequences, and then the air jet maze though that was terrible. I think that was like a. It was like
You had to shoot air.
yeah, which is like a air hockey type
Mhm.
concept, but then to shoot.
Future had the control rods, and that used the zip line.
Yes, at the end.
Because you
Yes.
had to get there, you get the rods, tie it to the thing to
Yeah,
zip it
yes, yes,
across.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, Jed's like, I love the transition from Aztec to future. I mean, like, and like some of them were like you had to crawl through. Some of them you had to just go across the bridge.
Scale the fence.
Carla will watch an episode of this after sleep, instead of sleeping early.
Mhm.
We every now and then we'll queue up the stuff, and then we watch the Ayuade stuff, and then it's not bad. It's not
Mhm.
bad at all. I mean, like I'm not gonna be some silly purist. The host is just one component of the game, but I love Ayuade. He's a
So
great
Jed
host.
mentions they had games that were really designed to lock people in. Well, I think all the games
But
were
okay,
designed to be challenging, but none of them were impossible.
but we have to address the fact that there are automatic lock-ins.
Yes.
It's an automatic lock-in.
Which means
Normally it's a three strikes rule,
Yes.
or a fail state, which is basically
So
like you're
if
balancing and you touch the floor.
if you do something, then you're locked in. It doesn't matter if there's still time to step out.
and the super cheer. Oh, it's an automatic lock-in.
Mhm.
So sad.
Spud shares again.
Oh wow, the airjet maze from the Ayowadi version was agony on my legs running around in that small space. Oh my god, guys.
So thank you so much for giving us all this secret background information.
This is super. This is
we are,
oh my god.
we are
scream.
fanboying in
This
our
shit
own
was
show.
My, of course, shares Japan still has games on TV of a similar nature. I mean, okay, to be fair, this is the land of Takeshi's
Okay,
Castle.
yeah,
and then
and Japan is infamous for being innovative because I think Japan culturally, and as far as their media is concerned, there's a lot of noise, right? Everyone's doing something. For manga, there's all these manga that come out on a daily basis. So you always have to come up with something that catches the eye or something that stands out. And that's why they really push the limits. That's why they have a show wherein a person's wrapped up like a mummy. That's why you have shows where it's a singing show, but to make it interesting, let's cover them in a costume. So I am totally happy to know that they have all these other shows that are similar.
now I super love this Wikipedia article. They've also listed which ones were automatic lock-ins and then what the triggers were. Like, for example, the rope swing in Industrial Zone. Again, it was like precisely my example. When you touch the floor, you're out.
Mhm.
And then Medieval, of course, had things like the drawbridge, where if you touch the floor covered in fog, then you're out. So, I love that. Okay.
I shared you a link that we can share also.
Oh,
Now-
okay. Let me pull that up.
Now, everyone who's seen the show will never forget the soundtrack. The opening theme, which was composed by Zach Lawrence, I hope I said the name right, is called Force Field, and it was used throughout all 6 of the original series. An updated version was then used for the new series. I admit it was it was such a perfect match for me because it gave just enough suspense, just enough adventure.
It was kind of ominous,
But at the same time-
inviting.
It worked for all the zones.
Yes.
Even medieval, for some strange reason, it made me think of
Yeah,
for
yeah.
medieval, it was like running into a mission on an epic quest. For the others, it was journeying into the depths of the earth or this and that.
Okay, so we're gonna share the link now.
Now, one of the things that surprised me was that there was a board game.
Oh my
And
god!
I wish I knew and found this when I was younger, but there was a Crystal Maze board game
We're looking
released
at Board
by
Game Geek right now.
MB Games. The players don't play cooperatively. They instead have to challenge each other to fulfill different challenges.
Look, I mean, look at this kid's hair. How that that just dates where it's coming from.
But as you can see, the game has industrial, medieval, Aztec, and future as stages.
It's the original Zone lineup.
You have different activities that you do, and then the crystal dome itself acts as a 1 minute timer and a eye as well that shows where to go next. It looks fascinating, and I love how the board game went. As much as possible, it tried to give you that physical feeling. So medieval had a catapult that you had to try to launch and knock down the crystal. For the others, you had different little pieces. Industrial had a machine you had to navigate to put the rods in.
It looks so cool.
Of course, future captured the show so much, in as much it was the tilting maze.
But but in a spaceship.
And then,
Why not?
And then you had the tangram scanner, which basically forced you to build a puzzle similar to the show.
And it's like in theory, it's a collection of toys,
Mhm.
right? It's a combination of like toys that were readily available in the market that were repackaged together as Crystal Maze. But I would so want one.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that like this particular photo was uploaded by the guy in January of last year. So, they're out there if you're I guess you're willing to spend for it.
Looking at it real briefly, there's a new
one.
There's a newer
Ooh.
Crystal Maze board game right now, around £24 from the looks of it.
We're looking at it at Amazon.
But yes,
UK.
it looks much more impressive with more components for each maze, including
New thing to look for.
tempting. This is so tempting.
Oh my god! And that's the Crystal Maze.
Yes.
The final thing, it's a pile of money.
It's a pile where you'll have to grab stuff, and it looks like you use a tool to grab stuff.
Oh, at least
It's hands.
oh my god! It's a sticky hand.
There's hands. We should show this.
Okay.
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. And then Spud is sharing, if you look up Crystal Maze fan blog,
Oh, we totally will.
you can see Spud's blog that shows pictures of Spud and friends on the set. Oh man.
Of course, Mai's like the mummifying Japanese TV show was the one I thought of because in 2013 it was called Tore. Mai, we have a board game.
We have that board game. We don't have the Crystal Maze.
We have a board game for Tore. Okay. Y'all seeing this? All right. You're all seeing this? Yeah, it looks like it. But this looks super awesome. It has little crystals. It's things. It's all puzzles. Why not?
So Mai, we don't have the Crystal Maze
Oh,
board game.
wait. Yeah, let me expand our screen first.
We don't have the Crystal Maze board game, but we have Tart.
It's a real thing.
And yes, it has different physical challenges as
but
well.
but it has a mummy wrapping thing.
Yeah, there. The entire game's in Japanese, so it's not like we'll be playing this anytime soon.
And you just stumbled across this like
Someone
some secondhand
someone
thing
was
again.
getting rid of it from their warehouse, so I pounced on it and bought it. Oh my gosh! But yes, okay. Now I want to find the Crystal Maze board games.
Yeah, let's just move to the UK. Why not? So
Okay, so if we Google it with behind the scenes,
oh my gosh,
you can see
Spud.
images.
You want to do that now?
Yes, please, let's do so. Oh my gosh, we are like fanboying. But yeah, did mystery puzzles as kids for the family. We did a few of the physical challenges, and actually, they still are part of the things that inspire us for stuff we do for team buildings and stuff.
Toby once did a whole escape room theme for things. Oh, is this it? Okay, let's share this one.
And then hopefully Spud can tell us if we're showing the right thing.
Yeah, wait. uh, 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 uh.
So we think this is your blog.
Is this it?
Do let us
This-
know if
this-
we're showing the
this
right
one?
thing. I'm actually looking at the top if there's anyone named Spud.
Well, it could be. Oh, but look. Oh. Oh.
Oh, these are awesome.
Oh my god, wait. Let's zoom in somewhere.
Oh, envy. Envy.
Oh, I love these top-down mazes. I mean, they're not really top-down mazes. They're
Yeah.
mazes, but then like the camera perspective is top-down. I super love this.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, man. Wow, man. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Oh, this Spud anything. Anyway.
Not yet.
Oh, wow, I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even share my screen.
Let's try that again.
Yeah, let's do that again.
So sorry. We
It
got.
was minimized.
We obviously were okay. Let's slow down. Let's slow down as we scroll, so people have time to digest what they're seeing.
So testing of the
Here,
stuff.
I'm off to play Air Maze. This must be it.
Yeah.
Split into two groups. The top-down view you get as the viewer, we don't get that. See?
Yeah. That, which makes it harder to solve because the TV perspective makes everything look easy. Oh my god, the
Medieval Zone called it Minecraft. Don't scroll too fast.
I'm so sorry.
People will need to see.
I'm just skimming at the photos, really.
James Dillon, the man himself, is signing the books for the new series. Cool.
Mm.
Okay. Then Futuristic Zone.
I always wondered, like, because he snagged on some spiky bits, and like because they're like, especially when you're running from zone to zone, then
Mhm.
like you're bound to like snag on stuff and all these things. So yeah, totally could. Ball drop.
Sort all the balls by color to release.
I've seen
the
this
crystal.
one. Yeah, I've seen this
Yes.
one. We watched this.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
And you know what else is interesting?
Hmm.
For people who are fans of Crystal Maze and would like to see it or something similar in a different way, look up Busted.
To be fair,
Because Busted
To
does
be
hit
fair.
that same area of interesting challenges and fun tests and skills and gives it a narrative of its own. So yeah,
team building games are kind of Crystal Maze like. I mean, that's true. And then to be fair, a lot of escape rooms
mhm.
sort of provide that feel. It's just that the sheer diversity of puzzle options in the
Yes.
Crystal Maze was different. And I don't know, doesn't everybody want to get shouted at by some host, and all these things?
I used to really enjoy. What was that giant maze amusement park here in the Philippines? It wasn't Boom na Boom.
Giant
Payanig na
maze.
Pasig, I think.
I
had
think
the
it
giant
wasn't
maze.
Payanig. Yeah.
So that used to give me Takeshi's Castle Crystal Maze
Because it
vibes.
was a door thing, right?
And it was a huge maze. It
Yeah.
was like, I think, 2 lots. And at the midpoint of the maze is a tower. So you
Mhm.
get to look up and see where you are and then go back down. And oh boy, did I enjoy that so much. And then there was the giant slide, which is scary as hell.
So I'm kind of fascinated, and it was only in like prepping for this episode,
Mhm.
which was like over dinner today, that I didn't realize there's an American edition
Mhm.
with Adam Conover. You might remember from Adam Ruins
Mhm.
Everything. So they finally like did it, and they've adopted Ayuadi's terminology of Alice, which is automatic lock-in situation. Which is like okay, I can buy into this. But man, I don't know. I wish there were like some sort of a anniversary. Yes, mine. There's an American edition.
Mhm.
Okay, and then okay, I was looking up online, and I wanted to check if it was still alive. There is a Crystal Maze live experience over in the UK.
Yes. Envy again.
It is the ultimate escape room experience that I would want to do. It is basically there's a London one and a
So,
Manchester one.
Successfully funded through Indiegogo,
Mm.
located in central London. People can buy tickets and play the show for themselves. In the live experience, they actually go through what you call this?
I guess there's a video, of Brian leaving the maze to the new
Mhm.
custodian who will guide the team.
And the different zones were present with different challenges based on the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I had that earlier.
yeah, each half zone always had one team in it, so that basically allowed more people to go through the experience faster than normal.
Yeah, yeah.
So while you're searching, you found it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
just there's a maze, and you can't really tell the difference. It just looks like the Crystal Maze, which is envious.
If this were in the Philippines and it were not a pandemic,
No, my
we
God,
would be
we
going
would be
to
though. We would be
this.
there.
We would definitely be going to this. Jed mentions you forgot Christmas
Oh,
editions.
there were the specials. Yes.
Carlo asks, were the sets from the old season still in the new season?
I don't think so because there's a long gap between the
Mhm.
shows.
We have to accept the fact that many of them probably had to
Strike the set, and then
Yeah.
they moved on to other stuff.
So even if there are similar sets, there are probably whole new ones based on the old ones, if not inspired by. The Christmas edition shows, I don't recall.
The specials. How to pull that up?
Mhm.
It was the kids. The kids
okay.
were mostly
Okay,
was
then
the
I've
Christmas
seen
ones,
those.
right?
I remember seeing the ones with kids. I just didn't realize those were Christmas editions.
And then I also appreciated how the show was like always like was this? It was this gender parity teams where you had three guys, three girls. You get to introduce them at the
Mhm.
beginning, and then it was always. I love that they were really supposedly teams, and then like they come in thinking like this is our physical challenge guy, this is
Mhm.
our mental guy, and then the first round through locked in.
Mhm.
And then like what happened? What happened to the team? And you'll really have whoever is hosting criticizing the team leader. Well, what now?
So my, of course, jokes. How much is the IP? Let's buy the IP and build our own maze. I will state this early. Even without the IP, building something like this is very expensive. You will need land because if you have it in a studio, then you're paying rent for so long for something you shoot only certain days of the
Yeah.
week. So you will need land. You will need to build this. You will need then sets, and sets means engineers and carpenters, and that costs a lot of money.
Not even thinking about the designers who
We're not
actually
even
have
there
to
yet.
figure out the puzzles.
We're not even in the set design, the puzzle design. We're not even in the shooting and recording and editing yet. And then take note, once you're all done with that, you'll need to do it again because you need new stuff every few weeks or every few months.
Yeah, because you don't want games repeating too often on TV.
The closest I got to something like this was there was a group, a friend reached out to me on behalf of that group. The plan was to build a haunted house
Oh wow.
for an amusement park, and they
Okay.
wanted me to help design it. And I was like, if you guys can afford it, I'm game. I mean, if I'm just gonna design and all this and that. Sadly, it fell apart again because of cost. Because land pa lang, and that was an amusement park na, meaning they were gonna rent the area, and it's assumed no one's gonna build anything else there.
Mhm.
So it was a safer thing. It was already at least 2 million.
Oh my God! Look, Spud shares the original set cost what is this? £250,000 in 1989. That's a lot of money, guys. That's a lot of money
But Jed says, let's have a Lahar zone.
for Crystal
and,
Maze PH.
and a
Why a what a Pilates zone? What is a Pilates zone? Jed, explain yourself. Okay. Oh my God.
So if we did create a crystal maze in the Philippines,
That
what
had to
would
be Philippine
So let's start
thematics?
with our 4 zones.
I don't think you don't have to make the zones local because obviously the original went everywhere.
No, I'd still go for we'd have our industrial, which will basically be our rural challenges. Sorry, our urban challenges. They're
Okay.
all about cities, trains, streets, etc.
Okay.
But then we'll have something that's more rural.
We could instead of industrial, we can call it metropolis.
Yeah, we could be metropolis. Maybe we'll have islands, and islands then has zip lining,
Which is our Aztec
has
maybe.
diving.
Yeah.
Because it's the Philippines, right? And then we'll have 2 more. One could be mythological, which is all about horror. It replaces medieval.
Okay.
It can have,
Okay.
tikbalangs and aswangs and curses and, spin the wheel and see if you can solve the curse to free the ganyan.
Okay,
Those
okay.
are our 3. And then the last one, what do you think the last one would be?
We haven't addressed future because that's the
So
only zone you don't have.
then, because it's the Philippines, it will be post-apocalyptic. And this post-apocalyptic zone, yes, Jed, will have the Payatas
Oh,
zone,
that was meant
which
payatas.
which
Okay.
the Payatas zone would probably be this. You have a junk room. Think Star Wars inspired trash compactor,
Oh, boy.
and you have to solve the mystery to get
That
out.
looks like industrial though.
You could
I
have.
feel like all our zones are gonna look dirty.
Well, that's the thing. See, our industrial can be clean because then it could represent Fort Bonifacio. It can represent Alabang. It can represent Davao, Cebu. Wherein it's like, high rise, clean.
But your challenge between getting like your main challenge to get into the metropolis zone, if it were the entry point, is traffic. And then you just have to figure out your way to get past
Like
traffic.
maybe it's a highway and it's like filled with miniature cars and you have to hop between them to get across. or like maybe in the other one, it's a zip line because the zip line represents, I don't know, the train or the airport.
Oh,
and,
MRT.
yeah, and then there's water balloons being thrown at you while you're passing because it's
Okay.
Fiesta ni San Juan. Right? Stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I want that already.
We've discussed it openly here, so in case we need proof of this idea, this is the first place we've discussed this. So it's recorded.
Okay, but who is our host?
That's the problem. I can't think of a local personality that I would like enough for this.
Pong Pagong.
Why? Is he even active? He was a Muppet that was technically a property of Jim Henson.
That's true. So it can't be Pong Pagong. Then it has to be someone similar but not Pong Pagong.
So you're gonna give the show over to a Muppet, to a puppet
It has
mascot
to be.
thing
It can't be a person for the Philippines.
because
if you
we
go person,
can't be mean.
if you go person, it becomes celebrity, and it becomes all about the celebrity. So it has to be a
Maybe.
character. And that's also why Takeshi's Castle worked with the actors being characters and not themselves.
Okay, but it's gonna be harder if it's a puppet. It's like
Are we back? Are we back?
camera's
back?
not loading this time.
Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Oh no! Oh no! It seems we have lost the signal.
Oh wow, it's telling us that we can't come back. It's like, wow, our stream is super bad today.
Okay, so they say audio is back, but they can't see us. Sadly, it seems like we can't get the video stream back.
No, I got a black screen.
Yeah.
Wow, we're super podcast again. Hello.
Oh, when you pull the camera, it killed the audio.
Yeah, but can you hear us now? Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Okay.
Okay.
Mike can hear us. So the camera feed isn't working despite the camera being on. So maybe it's time to reconsider restream.
I'm very sad today.
Maybe it's time to
very sad.
Maybe it's time to reconsider going to OBS. Okay, I have one last thing to try. Play the video. Then maybe when it goes back, it will have a video feed thing.
You can try. You can try.
Tell us if you see the video.
Oh yeah! Baduy guys!
Are we back? Can you see us?
What is going on?
I'm seeing if it. Please.
Did that work?
Did it work? I think it worked.
I don't know why that worked. Why were we in a conference with ourselves?
But it worked. See, it's back.
Yeah.
Told you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're back. Maybe the computer wants us to play our intro more often.
Oh my god, this stream is it's been a challenge today, guys. It's a challenge.
Thank you for being patient. But yeah, we've been having this technical issue with Restream for the last 2 weeks now, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been bad for a while.
The starry thing seems to happen at least
The star
once an
is
hour.
a background for when we switch videos.
Yeah.
But then when you see it, then okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
So we talked about what we would like to see if we did a Philippine crystal.
Well,
maze.
at least for Zone, we got that. We still haven't found a host.
Okay.
I think the jury's out. On a
I
host.
do want to bring up one other thing. So far, the show has had very few digital experiences.
What do you mean?
So-
like a mobile app. Or
So there was
like
a computer game released in 1993 called
Oh.
The Crystal Maze by Digital Jellyfish Design.
Okay.
And then later on, in 2008 and 2010, there were mobile games.
Oh. Okay.
I feel it's time for a new one. It's 2010.
But
2010 was the last.
But
video
what
game.
would it be? Are you thinking like Seventh Guest? Like it's just puzzles?
For me, it can be something as simple as Dumb Ways to Die.
Ooh.
Just a bunch
Just mini
of
games?
mini games, and they're all just the characters in costume. Get to the maze. Tap this thing. Transfer the stacks. And, it's just that sort of a fun game.
As a mobile experience, that could work.
And it doesn't have to be too challenging. I think the main premise of the game is if you complete more mini games within the X amount of time, then you get to the final maze where you try to tap gold and not silver money, and then you use the prize to unlock more mini games. And that's it. That's your economy for a digital game experience.
Carla wonders what is the biggest prize won on the Crystal Maze. I am not sure. I am not sure how to answer that question. I'm like trying to skim very quickly because it wasn't a lot. Jed's like Fall Guys. Yeah, I guess to some degree, but I always feel Fall Guys still feels full on Takeshi's Castle more than Crystal Maze.
Fall Guys is specific to very physical challenges of moving around in the 3D space. It doesn't have really sliding puzzles.
It doesn't feel like that there are 48 different puzzles.
But it is a step in the right direction, and if Fall Guys is smart, they can capitalize on that.
If they had more gating mechanisms.
So as far as Crystal Maze fandom, the highest amount of crystals ever won was 10. That gave the contestants 50 seconds of time.
Ooh.
As to the highest prize money, I don't. I haven't found information yet. I'm looking for any listed one. Most crystals won. Has anyone won? Only 17 teams ever won in Crystal Maze, which is a testament of how tough it was or how rubbish the contestants were. That's a good way to describe it.
Wow, thanks article.
Statements from article, not from us.
Oh yeah, opinions are not ours.
The Crystal Maze wasn't actually a maze, yes. So the prizes weren't really a big thing, according to many of them. So prizes initially consisted of adventure days out, while contestants chose their gold and silver grade prizes offset. For Series 4, from Series 4, contestants then chose a single prize to be shared by the whole team. Those who didn't like them, tough cookies. Then O'Brien would often mock the prizes in the show themselves, referring to them as inconsequential, mediocre, ordinary, underwhelming. And I think
the real prize was the crystal.
Yeah, because everyone gets to bring home a commemorative crystal, which I wanted one.
Which says I cracked the Crystal Maze
I
and the
really
year that
wanted
you
one.
did it. Yes.
And I will admit, when we had our trips to Bali, and when I was with the family and we had the trip to Hong Kong, and those souvenir shops with those damn crystals,
which are not Crystal Maze crystals.
but I was tempted to get one.
Just to
Because
feel like
I
it.
wanted to have a crystal.
I feel like, sooner or later, I felt we were going to stumble. Or like there are paperweights in that same was that ISO
Mhm.
the decahedron whatever shit.
Yeah.
Um, super. See, Carlos, like the real prize was getting to play. Totally,
Yes, I
right?
totally agree.
I think that was the main prize. It was an escape room on TV.
Spud shares, the prizes were deliberately underwhelming, like an outdoor sports weekend or a trip to
Oh
Diggerland.
my gosh, yeah, but
To be honest, I wouldn't mind.
because it's you wanna attempt the maze.
And
I
to be
wanna
able,
attempt the maze.
I guess it's a geeky mindset, but for me to be able to tell my friend, "Oh, I was in that thing,"
I solved that sliding
or I was so
tile
embarrassing
puzzle.
in that puzzle, I would love to be able to have that moment. Oh yeah. Okay. There is that item here that says teams chose crystals over friendships. I respected those who chose crystals over friendships because, well, at least in those episodes, many of those who failed deserve to be locked in.
I
I'm
mean, like,
sorry.
okay, because you always had those teams, like, maybe they were down to, like, 4, 5 crystals at the end. And
Mhm.
then, like, you know what? We're going to buy back our team captain. We entered together. We're going to finish together. It also just means that you really don't have time. So you might as well just all do it together.
No.
But I think the tipping point was really when you had at least, like, maybe 6 crystals.
Mhm.
And then that's 30 seconds of time. That's not bad. That's not
Mhm.
bad at it. And then it's really a decision that you really want to go back, especially if you're just down one person. Although I think the most I've seen locked in were like 2 at a
Mhm.
time. By then they start thinking about buying people out.
Now, there were also quiz machines, which were a lot of popular SWP gambling machines based on the TV
Oh
series.
wow!
Cool Games created a 3D video version for the UK SWP market. Remaining true to the show using touchscreen technology, the game achieved widespread coverage in the UK. I am now curious. I want to find one of these. So let me see if I can Google that.
So do people have a favorite host? I mean, like as much as I slant towards Richard O'Brien because I'm sorry, he's iconic. He helped define the tone of the show. But then the host in general, I haven't had a problem with. And
Mm-hmm.
then and again because I love Ayoade, then Ayoade's run
Mm-hmm.
is very distinct. Um, and then who else? So we're listed as there was a one-off celebrity edition with Stephen Merchant, and then the 2017 followed the special have Richard Ayoade, and
Oh,
then what?
I just had an idea.
Okay,
I think it's time for a Crystal Maze cartoon.
what? Why a cartoon? It's a game show.
Yeah, but imagine a cartoon series where, what do we call Ayoade and Richard O'Brien?
They're hosts.
Yeah, but what are they in the show? Do they have a title? Are they the game master, the collector, or something like that? I don't think they ever had a title, right? Um, imagine
Maze Masters.
the Maze Master. So imagine a show wherein the Maze Master pulls random kids from the world to help solve the Crystal Maze.
Okay.
Maybe in one episode, Mumsy's trapped inside, and I need your help to solve the puzzles.
I feel like you've been working on too many preschool games.
And then, no, but it'll be a great show because every episode,
it's a kid show, though, right?
every
you're thinking a
episode-
preschool
yes.
show.
And it's a cartoon.
Okay.
So every episode, you can feature kids from different parts of the world, and they get to pull in their cultural background to help solve the puzzles.
Okay.
So, like, there might be a puzzle.
That's a pitch.
I don't know how to solve this, and then the kid might go, "Back in our place, we breed bees, and bees always follow north by
We-
blah blah blah."
We breed bees.
It's an on the spot pitch, but can you imagine? So it's like all these opportunities for different cultural nods, but then it's celebrating the puzzles of the show, and then every episode can have a specific puzzle. So we don't have to have multiple puzzles per
It's just
episode.
one puzzle because
Yeah.
it's a 30-minute.
And the kids then offer their ways to solve it, and then once they solved it, they
And if it's cartoon, then you can go full on Magic School Bus, where if it's the
Yes.
rover thing, you're in the
Yes.
rover.
And then
Okay.
you get the kids in wanting the show early, and then the crystals become something the kids bring home, and now every kid will want to have a crystal.
But they're not real kids; they're animated kids.
Yes,
So
but still,
nobody has a crystal.
Yeah, but that then will spin off and all that.
Spud shares again. There were children books, and they took the world of the Crystal Maze and added a story. And there was so there's your starting point for a cartoon. So okay, you're not alone. You're not alone in this cartoon night.
Maybe I should try to nudge my day job to pitch it to the show. Oh my god, I would love that. I would love to see a show.
Oh, see, now I just want to watch again.
Yeah,
I know what we're gonna do tonight
and it's hard to find sources to watch the show.
legally.
If you,
We're probably just watching clips on YouTube.
yeah, YouTube clips seems to be our only survival method. The show isn't available on Netflix, at least last I
No,
checked.
no, not.
I wish it were.
Because Channel 4 stuff doesn't really like get around. You know,
Wait, Jed says I want Ruby Rod to host.
Ruby Rodriguez. You mean? Or who's Ruby Rod?
Of course, I'm thinking, is Ruby Rod the guy from The Fifth Element? Corbin Dallas! Gemini. My mentions, come to think of it, these game-themed variety shows could be an idea. Exactly, because Busted, again, we're bringing back Busted. For those who don't know Busted, and I highly recommend you try to find a way to catch it. Busted is a show that combines a murder thriller storyline.
A mystery story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a comedy variety show, because you have them, they're all supposedly connected to great detectives, right? And they are all working together as they try to solve this ongoing mystery. And the mystery kind of goes through the entire show. But then every show has its own set of challenges, and it's funny watching them go through it. More so watching them struggle not to break character as they try to solve the puzzles. And I feel stuff like that is something that the Crystal Maze can have.
It's a way
See
in.
there, Spud does say Crystal Tucker in Fifth Element. That's Ruby Rod. Corbin Dallas.
Who has a Clank and Space card?
Yes. Gemini. Oh my gosh. It's either an amazing race kind or usual celebrities experience common people things. Yes, that's a
That's our
possibility.
tropes. Yeah, that's our tropes that we'd have to like play around with. But man, I mean, like I don't know. I don't think we could locally do justice to that. But to be fair, but I don't think we could do justice to a proper Crystal Maze set.
Yeah, I feel if there were
If they were gonna commit, then it's also gonna be open to the public with chargeable admission. Like they'd have to make money off of it.
or
somehow.
or worse, it just totally changes the brand.
Yeah.
Because the Philippine market is very distinct in how it approaches game shows. And we've seen some shows try
That's
to
sad.
break in, then transform to the expected. For example, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and The Weakest Link were very distinct shows,
Yeah, they came with their own format.
but then had to become very Filipino in the way they approach their shows in order for them to connect with the market more. And I feel I wouldn't really want that for the Crystal Maze, not against the Philippine market, but because the distinct feel of the show is something I wouldn't want them to have to sacrifice just to hit our market. You're looking at for clips now, aren't you?
I'm already looking at YouTube. Like, I know we watched these already. We're
Mhm.
gonna watch them again. There's an official Crystal Maze YouTube channel, and then it has some full episodes, and then a lot of good clips from the ongoing series.
So I guess to wrap up this episode, as we are now almost an hour and a half in,
I will confess I tried to learn how to play the harmonica because I just wanted to do the annoying harmonica music that Richard O'Brien would do. Okay.
Crystal Maze only came about because Channel 4 wanted to do another large-scale game show and for reasons couldn't. Ever seen
I've
Fort
heard
Boyard?
about it, but we haven't actually looked into Fort
Mhm.
Boyard. I know we noted at the beginning it was the inspiration for
Mhm.
this one. So
What was that other show we were looking at that had it had like a nature themed challenges and missions? Oh wait, I'm sorry, that wasn't with you. That was me researching for work. I'm sorry. Yeah,
NDA.
yeah.
Okay, so
Forget I said that. Delete. Good thing I never said what it was.
stop. Okay.
But that was UK too. Anyway.
Mine says it could be a digital show here so it can break the mold. I mean, maybe. And then
Maybe.
it's a lot of like VR experiences.
Or it will be the show, but then there's
Green
a Filipino
screen?
host.
um,
And the Filipino host will be very, ayan na naman sila. Ay, nako, ang tatangan
Oh,
nila.
you mean like a Takeshi's Castle style voiceover?
Yes, because
Oh.
you will have to.
Which would be funny though, because isn't it Takeshi's Castle got imported like into the UK with like or Australia
Yeah.
with a with a local host.
There is a
So we could do the
localization.
same thing with the Crystal Maze.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that would work out as an overlay because are you going to dub over Richard O'Brien? That's sad.
They will.
That they would though, but that's
They will.
sad. That's sad. Okay.
So to close, I think to close this
We
episode,
both did the thing. That was not planned.
to close this episode, I then posed the question:
Okay.
how would you prepare a crystal maze night if you wanted to do one for, let's say, your family?
Okay, define what is a crystal maze
So,
night.
for example, tonight is a crystal maze night, so all of you will be playing. These are the challenges I've prepared.
Oh my god.
So, for example, one might be if you have hungry hippos, you lay it down and have them now try to collect the most balls within the amount of time. But then maybe you'll add one ball, which if you get that, you're out.
Oh, an automatic lock-in. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'd want to leverage, all the stupid, dexterity games like we
Mhm.
never buy. Then
Mhm.
we would want to get some of
So
those.
something like Jenga, for example.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a team Jenga wherein, one person does the pulling, but that person's blindfolded. And the rest of the team have to guide that person.
Okay.
Higher, to the
I am-
right, my right.
I am
my
scared
right.
that I am in this relationship with you. Okay. How are these ideas coming up so quickly?
So what would be our physical challenge? Our physical challenge could be you collect shoes or slippers, and then you lay them down on a path. But then you remove some left and some right.
Okay.
And then the person, first is they can't see, of course, the pattern. On the go sign, removes their blindfold and sees the pattern, and now must hopscotch matching the feet of the slippers. At the moment, it's
But
one.
they hop on the
Yeah,
footwear?
so if it's like right foot on the left, you're out. Automatic lock-in.
3 strikes naman.
Well, if it's 3 strikes, then they have to do that while balancing a glass of water. But that's doing it at home.
And this is gonna be like the games only happen like when everybody's like had a few drinks in, and it's gonna be a terribly knackered
Possible.
home crystal maze.
Or
challenge.
it's you're playing with your kids, so it becomes a little home challenge. If you want to raise the challenge more and not have the water, then you could have pieces of paper cut out with either handprints or footprints, and then it could be combination of foot and hand. So you have to stuff like that.
we must take note that Toby makes games for a living, so that's part of the challenge here. The floor is lava.
Yes.
Essentially, Toby is the floor is lava.
The Floor is Lava is a fun show. It does check on some of the things we look for in a fun show, which includes people trying to solve things. People,
I like the hamminess when people die.
yes, right? No. The Crystal Maze Challenge. Oh, okay. Now we have to find that book.
Spud, you are the gift that keeps on giving.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Spud.
joining us today.
Yes, we can't
Okay.
wait to find that book.
Crystal Maze Challenge. Okay.
Okay, Carlos says buy an RC and do
Oh,
the RC challenge.
yes, we can make RC mazes. But you can only, but it'll be like you're watching someone's phone that is focused on the RC.
If you already have purchased it, then you can use the Mario Kart
Oh, the new Mario
RC thing
thing?
that uses the VR trap. If you haven't purchased that, then you can have an RC that has a remote control. If you can't afford an RC, then you now play in teams with one member blindfolded holding the car, and then the other person yelling, forward!
Obviously, our recurring theme is someone is blindfolded.
Because it's more fun.
It's gonna be that
way.
kind of a party, guys.
Yeah. So I guess the only one we're missing now is mystery.
Oh, I don't know. Then I feel like we're gonna pull out like a logic puzzle book or something.
That's possible.
I mean, like there are lots of things you can do,
Mhm.
riddles and whatnot. So, but Okay.
or like give them a padlock and the
The
combination.
clues to the combination are in this room. You have been staring at them all night.
Or we go through one of those really common ones. We're in. This glass can fill 2 cups.
And then
This
this fills
it fills 6 cups. Now fill in this pitcher.
without spilling. Yeah, without throwing away water.
Yeah, so
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that can work. That can work.
So yeah, so you can then have your Crystal Maze events. Of course, for the snacks, you create Jello using your ice cream mold. So they're like little jelly domes because you can't really purchase crystals, right? So
Okay.
you can do that.
Wait, are they? They're going to win gelatin crystals?
Yeah.
How are they going to win? If you eat your crystal, that is 5 seconds of time.
The guy who wrote the book is the producer who invites me and friends.
Oh, cool. Okay, we will support. Digital things are easy to support from here.
Yes, we will find that book. We will get a copy of that.
But I'm sure we're going to find the board game.
Carlos asking when event. Well, I don't know if we'll ever be able to hold our Crystal Maze event. Maybe when the pandemic is over and we're all vaccinated, we can finally have a
in-person event.
Let's have Carlo is over for our Crystal Maze event. Yay! And
I feel like we can't do it here. We need a bigger house.
That's true.
Or some clubhouse.
Well, by then the pandemic's over,
so we can do
probably
outdoor
do
stuff
it outdoors, and we'll just edit it all together to the water world, and it's actually edited because we're now in the swimming pool.
Our zones will be very based on what locations we can shoot at. Okay, I can work with
and
that.
then of course we'll have to have the nonsensical prizes as well. You get the mold for the Jello. Or something to that effect. I don't know.
You get yan. 1 stick.
or what was that? What did we order? That was that dome thing, and then you pour the milk and it cracks and it reveals that dessert thing. It had a chocolate dome.
But isn't that at a restaurant?
Yeah.
I don't think it's something we did at home.
No, it's not. Not
Okay. It has to be an episode. There need to be entrances too. Wow, Carlo. So much expectation.
The cemetery zone, according to Jed.
We are living next to the cemetery zone. I don't think we can shoot there. The guards would look very sternly against us.
Yeah, but I guess that's a way you can have your own Crystal Maze experience. If you need to scale it down, then
we're not scaled down enough, obviously.
Then you can do something that's solely on the table.
Yeah, you can do like word puzzles
then
and whatnot.
For the skill puzzle, it could be remember how you'd had the pen and then you'd flick it to draw a line and you try
shooting
to hit
stars.
A target. You use that sort of thing. So you could have something like that wherein you prepare targets and then anak, you have 10 seconds to hit each star in sequence, and then so it's a skill challenge.
Okay.
The mystery challenge, of course, would probably be the mental challenge would probably be a crossword puzzle or Sudoku.
Yeah.
Whereas the mystery puzzle would be the same puzzle, but then you mix it with different clues. So you have crossword puzzle 1 and crossword puzzle 2, but then you have 6 sets of clues and figure out which one to go with that.
Okay. Wow. This is all off the top of your head. Okay. I should be worried.
I don't know what the physical puzzle would be. Origami. No, that's still skill. I know now. It's folding a piece of paper as many times as you can in half.
Okay.
And see.
See, Carlos, like, I have to learn the harmonica now.
And see who hits the highest number. So yeah, that's how you can have your own Crystal Maze party at home. Just make sure you print out the crystals for your kids to color.
Oh yeah, that they have to color their own.
And
crystals.
then whenever they succeed something, you give them one. You can color it, and then once they've colored it all, now in the final puzzle, you start crumpling each one.
Oh boy, So wow, cake party and a crystal maze party. Our social calendar post pandemic is definitely growing,
Yes.
and apparently it's very thematic. So I should be worried. I should be super worried.
But I think that covers the Crystal Maze for me. Is there
For
anything
now,
else you want
yeah.
to add?
Oh my god, I'm just like okay. I wasn't expecting. Normally, you know how this Baduy Pride is like mostly a stream where I expect friends to see
Mhm.
friends only, and I'm so glad that Spud joined us tonight for his little
Yes.
tidbits. We're now going to have to pour over your blog after this and see what else we can mine from you as we I think all of us are going to end up going to YouTube to watch
Mm.
episodes of the Crystal Maze again.
My also adds physical. Flip a small towel on a pan.
Oh, that's a good one. And then it's a wet towel. So it's like just for that Aztec feel, you know.
Jed mentions we actually had a real crystal ball when we played as kids.
He took it from the chandelier.
But probably really cost much. Okay.
Depends.
For since we do have some new people on the show, just so you know, Baduy Pride is an almost nightly show that we have at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
That's plus 8
Some
GMT.
people call us a podcast, and then earlier Restream was trying to make us into a podcast. So.
Tomorrow we are talking about Sogi
Yes,
because it is Pride Month, so we wanted to do our part on that. And on Sunday
we're talking about grocery shopping.
we are talking about grocery shopping. It was a requested topic because in this show, the viewers can request topics.
And this today was a requested topic. Thanks
Yes.
for Carlo. Thanks to Carlo for suggesting
Thank you, Carlo.
we talk about this. I know we mentioned it in passing in another
Mhm.
episode, and we finally got around to talking about it today. And
I think we mentioned it in passing because we were talking about Takeshi's Castle.
oh, possibly
That was
possibly.
the topic of that episode.
Okay.
But yes, this is our 207th episode. It was the Crystal Maze. We had a lot of fun talking about this tonight, and we hope you'll join us again next time.
For questions or suggestions for future episodes, you can fill up the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Pride Ideas. You can follow us on Twitter, Altobi No Shade, RG Suniko.
You can also check out our blog, baduypride.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
Feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below. Let us know what your favorite Crystal Maze puzzles, rooms, challenges were. And be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And this is Baduy Pride. Good night, everyone.
Thanks